What are you kind of harping on this offseason? I'm assuming kind of at the end of year meetings last year. What did the coaches want to see you improve on and work on before next year?
For me personally,
Yeah.
I would say being consistent. I got to be a guy that can consistently catch the ball and just do things. Just be a leader. And one guy that they can count on.
Mm-hmm. Anything dramatically different about this offseason for you? Just the way the guys are doing 7-on-7s, or receiver work. What kind of stands out to you about how you've worked this offseason?
I think getting a year under this offense, we kind of know what to expect or what to do. So I think we got a chance to sharpen our iron a little bit and do some things to get us prepared for this spring.
Mm-hmm. What was maybe the hardest part for you working in this offense in year one? What was maybe something you struggled with a little bit?
Probably conditioning for one, because it's a lot of running around as an inside receiver, change up formations, and another thing would probably be reading defenses. I think so. I think I got a better chance of getting more reps at it and just working at the slot precision.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the conditioning stuff, that's going to kind of come a little bit more naturally with time, more work with Edinger, but reading coverages is probably a little more film room stuff and independent type stuff. What have you kind of done in that regard? How do you try and sharpen up?
Just for me, I went through every game from last year, watching every game and watching all my mistakes and things I could have did better as far as a decision-making standpoint. So just watching all the film from last year and just trying to recognize everything and just try to correct my mistakes was the most important thing for me.
Mm-hmm. What's kind of and this comes from, I played a year of football and I was not a slot receiver. What's kind of the process for reading a coverage from the slot?
I think first and foremost, you got to read. Say if I was on one side of the field, reading the linebacker and the safety at with depth where they are, how they're playing me. Just looking at the linebacker, safety, and corner. That's first things first for my position.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells me a lot about what the coverage will be.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming you want to be on the same page as Eric for some of that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Definitely being on the same page as Eric is another thing that we need to improve or what we've been working on.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, I know you had a pretty good year last year statistically, but what do you feel like, how much better do you feel like it can be senior year now that you've had the second year in the system?
I think it could be way better, I think that first year I was still learning. It was still a learning year, I think this year will be much better, for me, because I'm more focused on making plays and being consistent catching the ball. Last year I feel like I dropped a couple of balls, a lot of focus things, but this year I think I have more knowledge, It's about knowledge and being a smarter player on and off the field.
Yeah, for sure. I think you got all ACC honorable mention from a couple places as opposed to maybe second or third team or first or whatever. Did that kind of drive you? Did you feel like maybe you were shorted a little bit?
I'm not really worried about that because I know that those things are going to come, just focusing on winning, After we win, those things will come, but not really focused on that.
For sure. You mentioned kind of leadership as another thing. How has your role maybe been different this offseason? Setting up 7-on-7 stuff or wide receiver group stuff? How have you kind of taken to that role?
Since I've been here, I haven't had to be a vocal leader. I feel like now this year I had to be more vocal, being a senior in our room, me and Steve, and Allie. So I feel like being more vocal and being able to help the younger guys since I've been in the mix a little bit is something that's been a little different.
I suspect you've had to spend a little bit of time with Mo just because he's moving over from running back.
Yeah. Mo,
go ahead, yeah.
He's coming along well. I think he's still adjusting, It's hard being the first time in this offense to really learn a different position, but he's definitely coming along.
Mm-hmm. How would you say practice is different this year than it was last year?
I think we're starting off much faster. I think we're able to open up the playbook a little bit more, since we got that year. Last year, it was much of a learning period, a lot of learning, but right now we're just going and taking off fast.
Is there things that you guys might be doing differently besides just the pace? Now that you guys know the offense a little bit better?
Yeah, different route combinations. We're seeing different things on defense, but but the main thing is just speed.
Dino mentioned he's allowed you guys to be more physical in practice this spring than last year. I don't know, where have you kind of felt that or seen that as a wide receiver?
I mean, we start off with a thing called pride period, which we go against the defense and see who can push each other further, and it's just a drill to get some contact in and stuff like that. We did a lot of stuff with the DBs as far as one-on-ones and just trying to get each other better from a physical standpoint.